Hey man, I bought this new QK75N. I kind of want to try building a custom keyboard. Bro, you know how hard it is to build a custom keyboard? Trust me, I've been building keyboards before it became cool. It's like advanced level stuff, man. I'm pretty sure it's like same level as like rocket science. Just buy a pre-built and leave the customs for the big boys. Well, QwertyKeys said that their boards are pretty beginner friendly, so I want to try giving it a go. Bro, they all say that. It's a trap. You know how advanced this hobby is? Bro, when I started, I had to try 67 different liquids to lube my browns. I had to go riz on airport counter ladies just to steal their keycaps off their terminal computers when they weren't looking. I had to hijack a shipment of NK65s while rolling down the highway at 90 miles per hour in my Civic, cause family. What you know about dropping the milky yellows into a tub of Crytox, stirring that ish for 13 days under the moonlight of a Galaxy S23 Ultra to turn them into NK creams. You mess up, you end up with box creams. If y'all ain't prepared for that kind of stress, I heard Razer makes some good gaming keyboards that you can buy. Hey look, I'm done. That was actually pretty easy. I think I need to find something more challenging. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Scott K. With the custom keyboard hobby growing so fast, we do run into some gatekeeping, don't we? Despite that, there's so many different keyboard manufacturers keenly focused on bringing beginner-friendly products to the market. Why? Because that's how industries grow. Eventually, the veteran, hardcore enthusiasts are not enough to sustain the growth of an industry. And I can tell you, it's not a bad thing. I feel like for every one enthusiast level keyboard, there's probably 10 entry level ones. Getting easier and easier to build, becoming higher quality for a lower cost. And today, we have exactly one of those keyboards, the new QK75N by QwertyKeys. Wait a minute, the QK75 was launched a while ago. Well, this is the N version. The N apparently stands for non-exploded, which means the arrow keys are clustered together this time with the rest of the keys instead of being separated out. But that's not why this keyboard is different. The QK75N actually signifies the next iteration of keyboards from QwertyKeys. They have been doing this for a while now, right? And learned a thing or two. Now all that know-how is getting distilled down into the next variations of their already popular products, led now by the 75% QK75N. The million-dollar question. So what is different? Let's go right into that first, shall we? First of all, the design of the QK75N is updated. QwertyKeys emphasize separating out the various different componentry of the keyboard in order to improve the customization ability of the new QK75N. For example, the upper and the lower case, the weight, the badging. This allows for the new QK75N to have a more layered look and more customization versus the original. Second, they improve the overall CNC process and also the surface treatment, meaning the smoothest finish of any QK board so far. I honestly feel like this finish is probably at OwlLabs level now. Next, they improved the mounting method from the original QK75. Still uses the same style of little silicone pegs, but they revised the positioning and it allows for a more softer and comfortable typing feel as well. So we will get to that later to see if that made a difference. They also added more styling cues like the little OLED screen, the custom badging, the character lines on the sides, and stuff like that to increase the overall detail of the keyboard. And plus, a lot of these are customizable, so you can choose what you want to do. You can even put the little Wi-Fi dongle into the bottom of the keyboard to store it like this. And yes, you can get the QK75N in wireless like the original, wireless only actually. Remember, it's usually the details that now separate entry-level keyboards from the enthusiast level ones, so that's important. And finally, wait for it, they have introduced a new innovation, a first for QK boards, the magnetic connectors. One of the major headaches for experts and newcomers alike with these tiny little thin ribbon cables that connect the boards together. Like you screw that up, the board doesn't work, or sometimes you damage the cable, things don't work. So QK eliminated this weakness and just made it so that the boards like connect by just like touching each other. Yes, like the daughter and the parent board come together like this by touching each other. Okay, that just kind of sounds weird. All right, so the boards stick together via magnets, okay? Let's move on. These innovations may seem small by themselves, which they might be, but like put them all together and you're like, this thing has more features than some higher end boards from like last year, or maybe even this year, for just around $180 or so. Very reasonable for this board, honestly, and I'll show you why. You guys might be thinking, that's Scott, always loving on all the QK boards. Well, yeah. I feel like they have been the most innovative and forward-moving company these past few years, so hey, props to them, right? And focus on like opening the price points for customs, bringing more people in, grow the hobby, good for all of us, yeah? Including myself. So all these changes are great and all, but does it do anything? Like, does it do anything for what really matters? Like the sound of the keyboard and feel of the keyboard? Well, but before we jump right into that, let's go to a quick word from our sponsor, PCBWay. PCBWay is an online service that helps you print PCBs, do 3D printing, or even CNC machining. If you're an aspiring keyboard designer or whatever else designer, you can take your design and simply upload it to get something made quick. Or, if you have the source code for a PCB that you already have and you need a replacement, you can also get that done as well. They can handle all types of PCBs from your simple single-layer designs to multi-layer stacks. Beyond PCBs, if you want to try making your own case, PCBWay can machine that as well. Now, a very exciting new service that PCBWay offers, OEM. Instead of just making a single component, you can actually task PCBWay to be an OEM manufacturer and make the whole thing. They can do anything from PCBs to CNC cases to even assembly. And using global manufacturing, they can offer very competitive prices. Is there a keyboard on the horizon? Well, check out OEM at PCBWay. I never thought the original QK75 was weak in like the field department, so we'll see what this did. I mean, it's flexible, it absorbs impact well, it feels nice on my fingers. So hey, making the pegs softer and repositioning them, did it make it better? And I have like the non-flex cut PCB also, so I don't feel like a dramatic difference, but it didn't make it any worse, so hey, you know what? Still pretty good. Now, what about the sound? The original QK75 had pretty decent sound, nothing like mind-blowing, but good, solid sound, especially for the price point. What about this one? This new one? Well, let's find out. In order for me to show you like the spectrum of what this can do, I decided to build it in two different ways. One like a deeper, thockier build with minimum fillers and a soft palm plate, and another one like, supposedly a clackier build with maximum fillers and a stiff carbon fiber plate. So what's interesting is that yes, this thing comes with the standard amount of foam in 2023. But this case foam here, it's very airy, it's like open. So it doesn't have so much like mass to absorb the sound energy, which also means it'll have minimal impact to the sound modification. Rather than like absorbing and dissipating the sound, which actually means like converting the sound energy into heat, very little bit of it, hence muting the case altogether, it'll more likely restrict the movement and reflection of the sound waves in the case. Should like help reduce some of the hollowness sound, like more than anything. I see more similarity of this kind of foam with like polyfill. It's not like butyl rubber, if you get my drift. Then you got this thing. I originally thought this was packaging material, and it is. So I don't think you need to shove this in anywhere. It like doesn't fit anywhere. I was like, why is this here? Rest are pretty standard now for QwertyKeys, so like the plate foam and the PE foam. So let's go with the thock build first, which means palm plate, just the airy case foam and nothing else. Put everything back together, and I used a set of lube Neo white switches from, yes, QK. These are long stem linear, so I expect like a good poppy deep sound out of them, so let's see how they are. I used some owl stabs for stabilizers also. For keycaps, I use a set of GMK frost switch, courtesy of QwertyKeys. So shout out to you guys for hooking up this creator with, I don't have a lot of keycaps right now because I couldn't bring them all from the US. So you know what? Enough sobbing. Let's go listen to this keyboard. So what do you think about that? What's interesting is that even with the softer plate and less foam, the QK75N actually is a clacky sounding keyboard. Clacky and super clean. I really like how this keyboard sounds, really, like much improved from the original. In addition, the board doesn't really rely on the foam that much. I really think that you could run this completely bare and it'll sound fine. But what if you love foam? You're a foam bro. Let's try to build a foamy or clackier build, shall we? So we'll keep most of the components the same, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swap out the palm plate for the carbon fiber plate and stuff like rest of the foam inside the case. From the outside, they look the same, but what about the sound itself? Hey, let's check it out. Yes, like expected, the foam in the carbon fiber plate does change the sound, right? Slightly more foamy, but not overly foamy, honestly. So I would say that the P foam here doesn't just create that marbly sound, but it has that mid-range amping effect that helps the board sound more thocky. So if that is what you want, you can shape it that way as well. So you can get both clacky and thocky out of the QK75N. Well, the moral of the story is that you could take something good and make improvements to it, it becomes more good. Although so much about the keyboards is very subjective, besides like the look, the major improvement to the QK75N, in my opinion, came in the sound department. It's like just better. And plus, even if you're a beginner, it allows you to experiment without really screwing things up too much or damaging it. Or like searching or having to search for stuffing material and stuff like that. So QK has been around for like 2 years now. I can't believe that like the newest comer to the hobby back then is now putting out like next generation's product already, right? But these new products with their new innovations really bring more accessibility to this hobby, which I feel like has blossomed over the years. Overall, another banger from QwertyKeys with meaningful changes. I mean, the only thing I did find they could improve is like this gigantic screw hole in the knob. I really wish it wasn't there, but guess you can't win everything, right? The QK75N is on sale right now until November 9th as a pre-order. And from what I know, QwertyKeys plans to like satisfy the order in about 6 weeks after that, which is pretty good. Hey, that's actually good for both enthusiasts and newcomers alike. The QK75N only comes in wireless tri-mode PCB, as I mentioned before, which, you know, you also have the choice of the flex or non-flex cut thin PCB for this one. As expected, a whole lot of plate options as well, and lots of different colors and 7 different themes to help you make your own unique keyboard. Whether we like it or not, the custom keyboard landscape is changing. In my opinion, it's not a bad thing, right? As usual, you know, if you enjoyed this video and my comments, please like and subscribe, and I'll have more content for you in the future.